I'm excited to once again be joined by Lou Stagner, our lead stats guy here at Skratch, as well as the assistant coach for the Princeton men's golf team. Lou, how's it going?
Good to see you, Ryan.
It was one heck of a season on the PGA Tour, and we got a couple of players to highlight that had pretty incredible seasons, as well as some stats that really stand out throughout the year.
The man is a machine.
I feel like we could dedicate about 3 hours to just rattling off amazing Scottie stats. So he finished the year with 15 straight top 10 finishes. It's the first such run of that since Jack did it a long time ago. He had 17 of 20 top 10 finishes on the season. It's his third straight year with 16 or more top 10s. He led 19 statistic categories when the season finished up on the PGA Tour.
It was absolutely insane. And to your point, that 15 straight top 10s included the Pro Tour, which was after the official FedEx Cup season, which is, again,
right.
I think that he showed up to that thinking that it was going to be, let's do some team bonding for the Ryder Cup. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to kick all your butts while I'm at it. It's pretty nuts. Now, another tournament where Scottie went out and kicked a lot of butts is the CJ Cup Byron Nelson.
Absolutely stunning performance there. So he gained 23.1 strokes on the field. It's the third largest in any PGA Tour event since 2003. He won wire to wire by 8 shots. There's so many to read off from this event. So he's only the 12th player since 2003 to win a 72-hole event by 8 or more shots. More than half of his strokes gained came from his approach play, which is remarkable. He was ranked first in par 3 scoring, first in par 4 scoring, and first in par 5 scoring. That's pretty unbelievable to do that.
I think the one thing that stands out and has really stood out this year is his par 3 scoring, because it goes to something you mentioned just before that was his approach play. And basically, you're giving one of the best approach players in the world the opportunity to hit from a flat tee deck every single time, off a tee, pick his lie. It's no surprise that he leads in both of these categories, considering that it's his iron play that is like absolutely standout amongst other things when it comes to his statistics.
Yeah, for sure. Here's another one, too, that really stood out in this event. So his scoring average on the par 5s for that tournament was an unbelievable, unreal 3.83. That's his scoring average on the par 5s, not the par 4s, the par 5s. That's just hard to fathom.
It's incredible. Another player who we have to talk about this year is Rory. Now, we talk so much about his iron play, how his putting has been extremely consistent all year, but at Pebble Beach, at sea level, he averaged 336.7 yards off the tee. Nuts.
That's just huge. His driver is a weapon. He's definitely one of the greatest drivers of the golf ball to ever play the game. That number you went through there, it's the longest for a winner in AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am history, all the way back to 1983. He was longer than the second longest player that week by 17 yards. Just the 9th winner since 1983 to achieve such a huge distance gap over the field. So just absolutely incredible performance with the driver.
And I think, too, it's really important to note this was not just another event. Like, yes, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson was not a signature event, and Scottie went out there and kicked everybody's butt. But when it came to Pebble Beach, it was a signature event, which means all of the top players were there, including players that are obviously extremely long off the tee, and he still had that gap of 17 yards, which is insane.
Yeah, very impressive.
Now, speaking of another event where all of the best players were present, and that was the Masters, because in 2025, Rory completed the Grand Slam, and with it, a lot of things that go with it.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before he got the Grand Slam. He's just too good of a player, and he had a great week. So 6th player ever to get the Grand Slam, and only the second after Gene Sarazen to complete it at Augusta. He joins Nicklaus, Tiger, Hogan, player, He now owns wins in every major and in all 12 calendar months. So good job for Rory on that one.
Now, speaking of his scoring during the week, the back nine, something that really stood out was his iron play and his approach shots on that final back nine. Like, it was just an incredible thing to watch, but the stats back up how much more impressive those shots actually were.
Yeah, this was really pretty unbelievable when you hear this one. So it was just a laser show on the back nine with the Grand Slam on the line on Sunday. So in 15 from 207 yards, he hit it to 6 feet. On 16 from 170, he hit it to 9 feet. And on 17 from 196, he hit it to 2 feet. The shot-by-shot odds there are 2%, 7.9%, 0.37%. So the probability that the Tour Pro hits all three that close in succession like that is almost 1 in 29,000. And to put it even in more perspective, Rory had faced 355 situations in his career of 3 approach shots back-to-back between 165 and 212. Never in his entire career, when he's been faced with that situation, has he hit all 3 inside 9 feet until the back nine on Sunday when the Grand Slam was on the line. So what a time to step up and have that kind of ball striking.
It was an amazing thing to watch, and I think when you put it into perspective, that one in nearly 29,000 to actually be able to achieve that goes to show that he really did put everything on the line on those shots, and at the end of the day, he got the result that he waited so long for.
Yes, he did. It was fun to watch.
It sure was, Lou. And as always, it's super fun to talk to you and dive into the stats. And I'm sure we'll be doing this once again very soon.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a good one.